But according to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president. The Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this on tape
it says just the opposite,
that you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify it.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
Could have
but that wasn't a
declassified it.
document, Bret. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers. And
you see how terrible Trump does when you actually hold him to account, like when you don't throw softballs at him. When it's like, no, this is what you said. When he did the CNN town hall, I can't remember the woman's name. He was firing back at her. He looked bad. He looked weak, but thus far, I mean, this is only a short clip, but he really don't look that confident. Because how can you be? You know, like how can you be? But yeah, no, Trump really doesn't do well when you actually hold his feet to the fire. But Republicans won't do it because the base is so enthralled with him.
Say on this on tape
it says just the opposite,
that you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify it.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
Could have
but that wasn't a
declassified it.
document, Bret. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories,
Y'all think this dude gonna go to jail? What you think? I mean, there's really no arguments for him. And outside of the base, outside of the Republican voters, and, you know, people are really fed up with this guy. But, you know, I think him actually going to prison, I don't know. I don't know if the powers that be are actually willing to do that. But, yeah, this guy, if this was anyone else other than Donald Trump, would have been thrown behind bars. I mean, before he even got to become president, just, you know, his lifelong financial criminal history.
Magazine stories and articles.
I'm just saying what the indictment says.
Well,
the recording and the people in the room who testified.
These people are very dishonest people. They're thugs. They're thugs. If you look at what they've done to other people, what they've done to and overturned in the U.S. Supreme Court, these are thugs.
They're thugs.
There was nothing to be thugs. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
I'm just saying what the indictment says.
Well,
the recording and the people in the room who testified.
These people are very dishonest people. They're thugs. They're thugs. If you look at what they've done to other people, what they've done to and overturned in the U.S. Supreme Court, these are thugs.
How, Donald? How are they thugs? What are you talking about? Because if these people was really thugs, and they would be out here, you know, lining people up against the wall. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't what we got going on in this country. Not the way he's trying to portray it. We ain't quite that bad. You feel me? Like, that ain't happening over here. You're just being held accountable. That's all it is.
The suggestion was that you wanted this as evidence that the military, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Milley, had preemptively sent you plans for a possible attack on Iran, and that you didn't order that to happen. That's the suggestion.
I never ordered it to happen, no.
But that's why you wanted the document.
I don't think I've ever seen a document from Milley. Milley, frankly, was incompetent. The last one I'd want to attack with as my leader would be Milley. That I can tell you.
All right, last thing on this.
Right, Martha Stewart was in an extremely nice resort, but Martha Stewart's crimes are nothing compared to this dude. I mean, Martha Stewart was just, she just owed taxes, right? She just wasn't paying her taxes or something. But she just doesn't seem to be as an egregious criminal as Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump tries to be a criminal. I mean, obviously Martha Stewart would have tried to not pay her taxes, but Yeah, nah, this dude gonna be on right. He gonna be on house arrest playing Xbox all day. They gonna ban him from all the platforms, but he gonna find a way to get through it on some Xbox profile. Veterans against Trump. Oh, I'm my bad. I'm back on Twitter. So these are just responses. Okay, yeah, there's more. Obviously, I hope they just let us play it on this page. Hold up, instead of having us go to the next one. All right, I was just making sure that that's what we just watched. Jonathan Turley. Bret Baier conducted an extraordinary interview with Donald Trump, who discussed the criminal allegations in detail. Statements of this kind are generally admissible at trial. How much did Joe Rogan pay Bret Baier to debate Donald Trump? Okay, hold on. It's going to make us go to Twitter again. But no worries. I got you. I got you. All right, what they talking about?
In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that.
This
and we
time-
had tremendous. Look, we had the best economy we've ever had.
This
The world
time-
has ever seen.
Your Vice President Mike Pence is running against you.
What the
You're
hell?
Ambassador of the United States. In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that.
This
and we had
time-
tremendous. Look, we had the best economy we've ever had.
This
The world
time-
has ever seen.
Your Vice President Mike Pence is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley.
He said we had the best economy the world has ever seen, ever in history, let alone the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, never in the United States has the middle class been stronger than when Donald Trump was.
She's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock. And your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Kennedy, milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So,
Yo, he is, and everything, he's eviscerating this guy with his own words and the words that other people have said about him. Bret Baier seems like he really doesn't want this guy around. And I mean, I think that's the reality of most of the people who are a part of the establishment media, who are a part of, especially Republican politicians and administrators of various sorts. But you can just tell that Bret Baier is like not, just sees Trump for who he is, a very weak and pathetic man.
why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. We had a great economy. We had phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis, it would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
Right. He just said, too, if all these people are so lame and so trash, then why did you hire them?
Well, you see, I was confused because the mustache didn't fit the man.
Or whatever, because he be on that central casting nonsense.
Phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis, it would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
That's true. Well, I mean, you just went through a list. But don't forget, for every one you say, I had 10 that love us. And one thing happens, I find, with
Man, he really is not looking good. I mean, he wasn't in a position to win the general election anyway. He already lost the general election, let alone winning it again. A variety of factors in terms of independent swing voters, and he was already facing that. But we still got quite a while until the actual election, so it's only gonna get worse for him. The Republican Party is literally falling apart. It's totally collapsed. And I'm trying to sit here and think to myself, what are they going to do after the 2024 election? Who's going to be their new guy? Because they've structured themselves such that they need a dictator type of person. They need a big, strong man to lead the way. So if they don't go back to more diplomatic, democratic ways, which, they're not just going to hit a 180 and do that. Bureaucracy moves too slowly for things to move that quickly as it is. But what they going to do after this man? We're gonna have to find out, but it's just interesting to think about how big of a mess this party really is. All right, let's see another one. Bill Mitchell says, this is just painful. Bret Baier absolutely destroys Trump on his terrible hires and insults after they left.
Okay, in 2016 you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that.
This
and we
time-
had tremendous look. We had the best economy we've ever had.
This
The world
time-
has ever seen.
Your Vice President, Mike Pence, is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State.
Man, and we just watched that, but yeah, and if you really hold this dude's feet to the fire, at some point, so many of Trump's supporters are just disingenuous. Because how can you look at this and genuinely think that he's totally innocent, or that everyone who criticizes him is just lost, or, we just got the wrong idea, we don't know what we're talking about, or just move on from the guy? You know what I'm saying? Are the things that you need in your life less important than Donald Trump? And they don't realize that that's how they're approaching politics. It's like y'all aren't approaching the issues. You're approaching this man, this person, Donald Trump. And it's, again, that's why I said, man, what are these people going to do after 2024? Because they ain't feeling this whole democracy nonsense, to hell with democracy. Yeah, no, this party is just a total mess. Hold on, they're making us go to another page, see if it's a different video. Okay, no, that's still the same one. Seeing if Trump's legal team tonight. I'm done. That's Ben Shapiro, or is that the real Ben Shapiro? I don't know if that's a real Ben Shapiro or some. I don't know if Elon did away with that fake check stuff. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with Twitter, but yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's so ridiculous. Andrew Feinberg, this Trump and Bret Baier interview. Wow, did his lawyers approve it? Either way, hard to see them being able to entice anyone competent to join the team after this. Nah, for real, man. What do we start off by saying? When people guilty and they know they guilty, they try to redeem themselves and they try to brand themselves and paint a new picture. That is a huge sign. I mean, you can't necessarily say that that's always the case, because you got to go on a case by case basis. But man, if you're dealing with a huge lawsuit, stay off TV. Stay off the radio. Why are you talking to everybody publicly about these things? Because you can say what you want publicly, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on within the court process that you ain't saying, and that you may not even know. And given the fact that there's going to be information that the prosecutors have that you don't know, stay off TV. Shut up. You feel me? It's just such a bad look. You feel,